Hello guys, and welcome to week 5. Let's just take a look. Basically, we've finished one whole shot. So from weeks 1 to 4 we've done scene 1, shot 1, which was the portal and the magic shield. And now as we jump into week 5, the second half of the mastering the art of magical effects in Houdini, we'll be jumping into a brand new shot. So scene 2, shot 1, and I've named this scene Decloak because we'll be working on the first half of this shot, and save the second effect for weeks 7 and 8. So let's talk a little bit about the Decloak. Before we jump into this scene, which I'll save for the next video, I just wanted to discuss our aims and our goals and look at some reference. Something I've found is that it is quite difficult to find sort of decloaking reference in general, but I think everyone has their own ideas of what they want to see. And there's a really good example from Matt Radford, who was working at Blur at the time, has done a nice little setup as well. So let's just look at the whole shot. So this is what we'll be working on for the rest of the workshop. And as with the previous one, I'll be including the environment and the drone animation and model. And you guys can add stuff on top, but if you want, please grab your own environments or try and find your own characters or spaceships or whatever, and follow along with different geometry to make things interesting. So we won't be tackling that second half yet, and what I've done here is I've just animated a sphere to demonstrate the basic approach to the decloak here, but we'll be doing a propagation effect for this instead. So what we want basically is at least a few frames of something moving in front of the camera that you can't quite see, but it's having an effect, a refractive effect on the environment, maybe a few flashes of light, and then it starts to unfold or decloak and appear into the scene. And I've got it starting from the back because I'm trying to imagine that this ball on this model is like the instigator of the effect. So it starts to reveal itself, and then the face of this drone is the last thing to appear, and that's it. So let's have a look at what I have found. I typed in cloaking on ArtStation, and there's pretty much not much. There's this image here, which is pretty cool, and then just these kind of characters in these sci-fi games and stuff that generally can turn invisible have some kind of cloaking effect. Not too much to go on there, and Pinterest is strangely enough really lacking. I couldn't find any images on here that really looked like what I was looking for. There is this PlanetSide 2 cinematic trailer, and they've got pretty close to what I'm trying to do. So that's a character there that decloaks. And this is the one I was saying that Matt worked on. There's another shot there. So I'm looking to do something similar to this, but I would like to maybe not do so much of just a surface transformation, but also kind of reveal the inner workings of the drone, and then add a bunch of stuff on top just to make it over the top complex, just because we can. And as an example, here is a more magical one I found from a League of Legends cinematic. So basically same approach, but nothing sci-fi about this one, but it's basically propagating some sourcing and emitting some points and stuff. A large part of what we'll be doing for the more sci-fi related one is going to be geometry based and shader based. So less just generating a source to emit magic and more actually affecting the model itself. And if we come over here, here's Matt's breakdown of the decloak he did for Blur Studios. So these are some of the tests he was doing, just using objects as masks, but we'll do a propagation mask. So you can see there he's also doing masks and then generating shaders and just some interesting stuff on the geometry as well. But like I said, this is more as just a surface effect, and I'm going to try work on something much more all-encompassing on that drone and really get inside there and add extra details and extra effects internally. But here's some really nice examples of the kind of masks and layers that Matt's getting for this shot. So that's basically it. So if we look back at this, same kind of idea here on the surface, but we'll see how it looks if we actually remove the geometry to the point where we're looking inside and add some extra effects there, maybe a little bit of electricity running along the surface. Obviously some geolights as well that can maybe light up everything dynamically as it's revealing itself. So that covers pretty much the plan for this effect. I think the best thing to do in the next video, we'll just go through the basic Houdini scene setup that I have for this shot before we get started properly on this decloak effect. So I will see you guys in the next video.